Well, first I was just going to do this and not do any video recording, and then I thought, you know, I might as well do the video recording. Anyway, I've got this nice steel dowel here. Okay, what it is, let's back that out a bit so you can see it. This is off, it used to be a 210 strut, a Datsun strut. I took the nut and the dampener. Okay, normally it would sit in the car like this, and this piston would go up and down inside the tube with the cup on here. And it had spring and some shim washers and stuff like that to regulate the flow around there. And then this is just a mechanical limit, and I think there was another one on top of this. Oh, there was a wiper around here, a plastic piece I already took off. Anyway, I cut these off and used that polish rod for something else before, and I just had these sitting around. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out a nice section here. Then I'm going to machine a recess into here so that this will sit in and become the new radius here. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a hole through the middle of this, and I'm going to drill that and put a pin through so that it'll basically be able to rotate. That way I don't have to weld it in and have it stuck. And I think if I put a little grease around that, it should be able to just spin in that recess. And I'll leave it sitting. I'll probably take this wall right here and cut that back in just a little bit. That way this radius will hang out over just a hair. That way there won't be any of this metal for it to basically drag on. So we'll see what happens. Like I said, if it doesn't work, I go back to plan A and just cut it out of 2x4. Well, I went out and found this piece of rod in my... It's an old axle for a barbecue, I think. Something like that. Anyway, I'm going to use it as the axle and kind of create a bearing effect. So instead of having... So that way this will rotate. So I thought, you know, I've simply drilled it out. I'll polish this up a little bit and then put some grease in there. So you'll see how it comes together. But my plan is for this to actually rotate in the die. And see how that works. All right, so I took that axle and just hit it with a little emery paper. That's exactly what I want. You know, a little oil or grease in there, and there's hardly any play. I'm roughing out the pocket here because I want this to sit right in there. Okay, so I don't have it wide enough right now. I still got a bunch of milling to do, but I thought I'd stop and check the depth. And it might be kind of hard to see that, but that is sitting about 20 thousandths proud of that, which is perfect. I wanted it to sit just a little bit above this. I still got some deburring to do and stuff like that, but to give you an idea here, it now fits in the pocket, and it's a hair taller than the side there, but I can mill this down a few more if I want. We'll see how well it comes out on the other side. So what I'm hoping is to basically have it touch on the side and the bottom for load support. I'll put oil on it or whatever, and then when the pins go through, you know, I'll grease or oil the pins. So I'm hoping that the majority, that it'll roll on the pin, but the main brunt of the load for the bending, you know, will get pushed against the back and the bottom. The pin is going to basically be in there to keep this thing from popping up out when the die gets down past the center of this. So that's the thought. We'll see whether or not the theory proves itself. Well, I'm pretty much done with this piece as far as the pocketing and everything like that goes. I'm still going to drill the holes all the way through. Maybe not all the way through, but just far enough so that I might shorten these even a little bit. That way it doesn't go through the end. But if I drill it all the way through, then I'll just slide it in there and stake it. That way I can get it back out without too much problem, as opposed to, you know, like welding it or whatever. So anyway, this is what I was after. As you can see, I'm, I don't know, 15 thou, 20 thou above the edge on both sides. So when a piece of that flat bar sits on there, that 3/16, you know, it'll actually be on the the round part. And it's the same way down inside. It overhangs the edges. So we'll see what happens. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, I want to get the axles in there before I go pushing on the stuff too hard. Mainly because I don't. Once it gets past that point, I don't want it to pop out. So, well, this may have been an issue with it before and why it galled the edges. You know, that's the piece there with the 3/16, and it's tight up against there, and I ground the burrs off and that stuff. Now, these two spots here, you know, where it was galling, you can see that big ass chunk taken out there. I wonder if I didn't have that open far enough, okay, because it's wider than it was before, and I guess I'd have to measure. I had been shooting for 2 1/8. Oh, and it's not quite 2 1/8. So yeah, I'm missing good 20 thou there or so, which is about right. I can't quite get it through there, so I'm not going to do it today, but I'm going to have to open up the backside here just a little bit and widen that up just a little bit. Otherwise, I think it's going to be way too much pressure. What I thought about was that, you know, if I run it down through there and these end up splayed a little bit, you know, wide, I can always pinch them together in the vise. It's just getting the initial bend accurate and quickly that I'm after. So I'll do that tomorrow because I need time to drill the holes anyway. So I'll do that before I drill the holes, or I'll kind of screw myself. Alright, I don't remember exactly where I left off here. Yesterday morning, I don't think I shot any video, but I did machine the pockets back further. So that now that fits in there with a little bit of room. You know, if it doesn't come out quite as tight as it needs to be, then, you know, pinch them together more with a vise or something. So now what I need to do is accurately locate where the center of that hole is, and I'm going to do it from this back edge and from the sides then. So let's just start with this. That is 1.384. Alright. Then I want to subtract from that half of this, and this is 0.785. Oops. Half. 0.785 divided by 2 equals minus 1.384. 0.9915. 0.99. Oh, 0.9915. So, and that looks like it's pretty much right in the middle there. All right, cool. So there's one number. I'll do the same thing for the other side and for the back and go from there. Well, working on finding the edge here. Got the wobbly end and that stuff. I already found this one, and this tip on here is 200 thousandths wide. So then I moved it over 100 thousandths, hit 0. I'm going to find the Y. I'll find that point, find this point. I've double checked that my final drill bit is big enough to go all the way through. I'm not quite sure I want to, though. I think I may leave one side captured. I'll see how that goes. And I could actually leave it a hair tight, and then when I put it down in there, I don't even have to Loctite it or stake it or anything like that. Would make it kind of hard to get back out, though. Should I need. So I put my centering drill in, and as you can see, I'm still on 0 on the DRO. I didn't move it over the 100 thousandths yet, so let's just raise that up a hair and move it over. All right, there's 100 thou. That look a little better. Now the center of the drill, right there on the edge of the block, right where I want it. So I can go ahead and zero that out now. Okay, so I need it 0.9915 in, and then 0.684 from the back. So, all right, there's the 0.684 up from the bottom edge. And if you noticed, I went ahead and drilled down in there with the with this bit. I ran it up and down on and with the drill on and off, and eyeballed it for parallel and everything like that against the sides here and that stuff. Everything looked good. I didn't feel any binding on the side walls of the top ones here, like it was bending or twisting or anything. So, you know, I think it's close enough. If not, you know, I'll punt when the time comes. Like I said, most of the load will be on these walls. And the shaft is just basically going to be there to keep this thing, you know, that roller from flying out. So, on to the last drill bit, and with that one I'll check the depth and decide how far I'm going to drill that down. So I blew it off and moved it over, and I thought, you know, let's check it here before I go doing another one here. And the tolerance is real close. It'll probably be a little easier when I deburr it. You know, and this rod just isn't quite round because of the way I sanded it down, I guess. I don't know. Or I didn't turn it, I only sanded it, so it was probably not quite round to start with. So anyway, drop it in here. I got that much more sticking out that it dawned on me. Oh, the depth of the hole down on the bottom here is dictated by the length of the rod, not by the other. I could cut that off, but I'm going to go ahead and drill it down to the depth to make this rod stick just below the surface here. So as long as I'm here, I'm going to go back and do that. But you know what I should probably do is, let's see if... oh, there's burrs from the drill top and bottom there, and since I have the tolerances pretty tight, it doesn't want to go in there. Oh, there we go. Okay, make a liar out of me. I might have to loosen some of the tolerances up just a bit. That's still turning. Yeah, I think I want to deburr it and everything before I go getting it stuck in there. And that would be one reason to drill the hole all the way through and stake it on both sides. Because if I do want to push it out, I'm not going to be able to if the hole doesn't go all the way through. So I'm going to come back, I'm going to drill it all the way through. Decision made, finally. Let's see, let's go back to 65. pretty much the max of the drill bit there. Okay, so it went all the way through. I'm sure I'm going to have a burr on the other side there to take out. And, you know, I can, rather than go to the next size up, I can always get a ream out and ream that. Or I'll maybe just put the axles back in the lathe and sand them down just a little bit more. But I'm not going to worry about that just yet.